His first question is, I suffer from lack of concentration in my prayer, and I feel like I'm not connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I've also committed a lot of sins in my life, and I don't know what to do. This concentration in the prayer, of course, we're talking about khushu', and that has been mentioned in Surah Al-Mu'minun, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قَدِ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ, which means successful indeed are the believers. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started talking about the qualities of the successful believers. The very first quality was الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ, those who have khushu' in their salah. Khushu' is a state of tranquility, concentration, to be attentive in the prayer, to know what you're reciting or what you're listening to, and to contemplate and comprehend and ponder on what you're reciting in the prayer. This is what's known as hudur al-dhihn. So your mind is attentive, and that leads to khushu'. You know that you're standing before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the hadith, that whenever the person stands up in the prayer, Allah is directly looking at him. Every person who is in prayer, Allah is looking at him or her until they turn away. Turning away, or as in the hadith in Arabic, حتى يلتفت فإذا التفت. If he turns away, if she turns away, Allah will in order turn away from them. So when you say Allahu Akbar, Allah is facing you, Allah is looking at you, Allah is listening to you attentively. Then if the person turned right or left, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will turn away from him. Yani, he will not be interested in his prayer. Turning away is not only the physical turning, like right or left, or to be distracted by looking around, up or down, or somebody's playing, but turning away also by the heart. التفات القلب. And this is the vast majority of the turning away, is the turning of the heart. So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is looking at you and is paying attention to you and listening to you, and you're not attentive to him, then in return Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will turn away from you. That's why, in fact, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, that the person would offer the prayer and he would only get 1/10 of it, 1/9, 1/8, 1/7, 1/6, 1/5, 1/4, 1/3, 1/2. It depends on how much concentration. ليس للمرء من صلاته إلا ما عقل منها. You only get a percentage or a reward for your prayer according to the percentage of the khushu' and attention that you paid in the prayer. As far as how to achieve this and what are the causes of lack of khushu', somebody came to Al-Imam Al-Hasan Al-Basri, may Allah have mercy on him, and said, "Ya Imam, I'm a big sinner. I do a lot of sins, but Allah continues to bless me. I mean, He doesn't punish me. He gives me rizq and so on." So he asked him a question. He said, "What about praying at night? Do you pray at night?" He said, "No, as a matter of fact, I don't pray at night." He said, "That is an enough punishment that Allah deprived you from the honor of communicating with Him at night." You know, if you lose khushu' in the salah, it's a punishment as a result of being sucked in sins. Since I was a child and I read many books and I read many articles about how to gain khushu' in the salah, until only one day when there was a gathering of my shuyukh, the top, the cream of all the shuyukh, mashallah, and we were discussing this matter, the greatest shuyukh in the world. And each person kept saying what I heard over and over, what you need to do, and so on. There is even a beautiful book of 70 means or sabab or cause to gain khushu' in the salah. One sheikh said something very important. He said, the khushu' is relating to the heart. True. Okay. He said, if this heart is occupied before the prayer with the ma'asi, then how do you expect this heart to function properly in the prayer all of a sudden? Somebody who's been sitting, watching whatever, and involved in sins, earning haram, selling haram, talking, backbiting, slandering, smoking or whatever, then he makes us say, Allahu Akbar. You need to clean up this first. So it is not one-time job. It is a constant, continuous, and consistent job. As long as you avoid the haram, and as long as you commit yourself to the halal, you will gain khushu'. You will find it easy to ponder on the ayat and reflect and know why the Imam is crying, and you find yourself automatically joining him. A lot of people stand in the prayer and say, why are those people are crying? Basically, he doesn't even know the ayat which have been recited. So that's why his mind was somewhere else. So the khushu', brothers and sisters, in one word, before the prayer, I have to clean up my heart. I have to know that I will be standing before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Jannah is to my right hand side, and An-Nar to my left hand side. And Allah is right in front of me. I'm facing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our teachers, since we were young, they would say, what happens whenever an employee stands before his boss? And this is like, he's making a decision which would affect his time. He has him to appear in front of him in his office. Or a student before the principal. When he stands before him, he's completely attentive to the boss, to the employer, to the principal. Why? Because he wants to show humility, humbleness, and gain his mercy. You're standing before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Think about it this way. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us all khushu'. So, as you just said that you've committed a lot of sins and so on, yes, that affects the khushu' negatively, definitely. But alhamdulillah, that amongst the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, At-Tawwab, Ar-Rahim, the one who frequently accepts the tawbah, grants forgiveness, and ever merciful. So repent constantly. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us khushu' in the salah.